Welcome to our channel. If you're planning to build a facility along a waterway or waterfront and are wondering how to get started with a water suitability assessment, you're in the right place. Whether you're completely new to the concept or tasked with conducting one for the first time, we'll walk you through everything you need to know. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of the key considerations, the organizations involved, the step-by-step process, and the timeframes typically required for a water suitability assessment. Section 1. What is a water suitability assessment? Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a water suitability assessment? Simply put, it's a process used to determine whether a particular water source meets the necessary standards for its intended use, be it industrial, commercial, or residential development. This isn't just about checking if the water is clean enough to drink. It's a comprehensive evaluation that takes into account various factors like water quality, hydrology, regulatory compliance, and potential environmental impacts. Section 2. Key considerations for waterfront facility development. Before diving into the process, let's talk about the key factors you need to consider when planning to develop along a waterfront. Water quality is your first concern. You'll need to evaluate potential contaminant levels. This includes industrial pollutants, agricultural runoff, and even natural contaminants that could affect your operations. For coastal areas, salinity is a big deal. Saltwater intrusion can impact the usability of the water for industrial processes or even damage infrastructure over time. Don't forget the ecosystem impact. You'll want to assess how your facility might affect local aquatic life and consider any necessary measures to protect or restore natural habitats. Next is hydrology and water flow. Conducting a flood risk assessment is crucial, especially if you're in an area prone to storm surges, seasonal flooding, or rising sea levels. This will influence not only your design decisions, but also your insurance requirements. Additionally, you need to ensure that the water flow in the area is consistent and sufficient for your facility's needs, whether that's for cooling, processing, or transportation. Regulatory compliance is another critical aspect. You'll need to adhere to environmental regulations at the local, state, and federal levels, such as the Clean Water Act in the U.S. Additionally, understanding zoning and land use laws is vital, as these can directly impact your development plans, especially regarding water rights and access. Lastly, consider the infrastructure and utilities. Evaluate the availability of water supply infrastructure and whether you'll need water treatment facilities to meet your operational needs. Also, plan for proper wastewater management to avoid contamination of the waterway, which could lead to regulatory penalties and environmental issues down the line. Section 3. Who's involved? Now, let's talk about the organizations you'll likely be working with during this process. Government agencies are your first point of contact. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, USACE, is responsible for permitting construction in or near U.S. waterways, especially when it comes to dredging, filling, and building structures like docks or levees. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, oversees compliance with water quality standards and the Clean Water Act, focusing on pollutant discharge and stormwater management. Additionally, state environmental agencies will provide regulations and guidelines specific to your project's location. At the local level, you'll work with county or municipal planning departments for zoning, land use, and local environmental regulations. These authorities might require public hearings or community engagement as part of the process. You'll also engage with water utilities and management districts, which manage local water resources and might have additional requirements for your project. If you're not handling the assessment yourself, hiring an environmental consulting firm can be a wise move. These experts conduct the water suitability assessment, help you navigate regulatory requirements, and provide a detailed analysis of your site's conditions. Finally, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, especially conservation groups like the Nature Conservancy, might be involved if your development could impact sensitive ecosystems. Section 4. The step-by-step process. Now that we've covered the basics and who's involved, let's walk through the step-by-step process of completing a water suitability assessment. Initial site evaluation is the first step. This involves conducting a preliminary assessment to identify any potential water quality issues, flood risks, and regulatory challenges. You'll also want to consult with stakeholders. This means engaging with local authorities, environmental groups, and the community to gather input and address concerns early on. Next is water sampling and testing. Here, you'll collect water samples from various locations and depths to ensure a comprehensive analysis. Remember to account for seasonal variations in water quality. These samples are then sent to a laboratory for analysis, where they'll be tested for physical, chemical, biological, and radiological parameters. After testing, you'll move on to hydrological and environmental impact studies. For this, you'll use flood risk modeling to predict potential flood scenarios and conduct an environmental impact assessment, EIA, to evaluate how your facility might affect the local environment, including aquatic ecosystems. Once the assessments are complete, it's time for a regulatory compliance review. Based on your findings, you'll apply for the necessary permits from federal, state, and local agencies. Be prepared. Some projects might also require public hearings or comment periods as part of the regulatory process. Finally, you'll compile everything into a final assessment report. This report will include the results of your water quality tests, hydrological studies, and environmental impact assessments. If any issues are identified, you'll need to propose mitigation strategies. This could include flood control measures, water treatment solutions, or adjustments to the facility's design. Section 5. How long does it take? So how long does all of this take? Let's break down the typical timeframes. The preliminary assessment usually takes 1 to 3 months, depending on the complexity of your site and the availability of existing data. For water sampling and testing, expect the process to last 2 to 6 weeks. Hydrological and environmental studies might take 3 to 6 months, particularly if you're dealing with complex modeling or extensive fieldwork. When it comes to regulatory compliance and permitting, you're looking at a time frame of 6 to 12 months, depending on the number of permits required and the complexity of the approval process. In total, the entire water suitability assessment process can take anywhere from 9 months to over a year, depending on the scope of the project, regulatory requirements, and any unforeseen challenges. In conclusion, a thorough water suitability assessment is crucial for the successful development of a facility along a waterway or waterfront. By considering key factors like water quality, hydrology, and regulatory compliance, and by engaging with the appropriate organizations and stakeholders, you can ensure that your project meets all necessary standards while minimizing its impact on the environment. Proper planning and adherence to the assessment process will not only help you secure the necessary permits, but also protect your investment against future risks. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. And if you have any questions or need expert guidance on your next project, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Strategos Dynamics Inc. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of waterfront development and ensure your project's success. See you in the next video.